In this video, we'll run through how to add a new product to the online shop. In particular, a simple product is what we're starting with. So that's a product without any variations in things like color, size, etc. So first of all, log into the website and then click down here on products. You can go straight to products, add new, or if you click on products, it will take you to your product list of what you've got so far. And from there you can also add new. Alright, once that's loaded, you can start putting in the product information. So start with the product name as you would like it to display. So if you want that capitalized, etc., change as needed. And then if you've got just a little bit of product information, rather than putting it in this big text box, which is the long description, instead put it here in the product short description. Okay, so just having a look. Excuse this is an example of a product page. Excuse the unfinished display, which we're still working on. But you can see here there's a short description and a long description. So that's where your short description will show up, and if you put something in the bigger box up the top, up here, then it shows here under description. Okay, so now we're down to the product data. So that's starting with the price. Put that in here. So you can see here the product data, it also has the option of various types of products, but because we're doing a simple product, you can just leave it on the default, which is simple product. Then in inventory, that's where you can put in the SKU. And this manage stock button is if you're keeping stock records on the site, and then you can put in the quantity. So 1. Okay, and then if your product had certain attributes you wanted to add, then you can add it down here. So for example, this is a brand, we want to add the brand, but the brand is not yet added. So we'll add brand, but if you can see here, when you click in, there's only one option. So we need to go and add more brand options. So to do that, back here under products, click on attributes. You can open that in a new tab, or if you're going to open it, first save draft to make sure you don't lose the work you've done, and then you can open the attributes. Okay, and then in here you can see the list of different attributes, starting with color and brand, and you can keep adding to those by clicking on configure terms. So here we'll add a new one, add a new brand, the scarf company, and that's all you need to add. The slug will be automatically configured. Now the slug is just the end of the URL, so you don't need to worry about that. That's it there. So for example, your site will say, you know, your domain name / the scarf company, but that's actually of no consequence, it just needs one. Okay, so if you don't put one in, that's good because it will automatically read off the name that you're using. Okay, so back to our product. You need to make sure you open it up fresh, so you can do that by, if you had it still open, just saving draft or refreshing, or you could go back to, from here you could go back to all products to your list and then just click on it here. So click on the title or this little edit option that pops up when you hover over, and then it'll take you back to editing your product. So now we can go to attributes and add our brand, and this time we'll be able to select something, the scarf company, and save attributes. Okay, and then what information have we got left? That's it. So we now just need to select the product categories. So this was in fashion and scarves. Now if you also wanted it in gifts for him or for her, you can select that. And then lastly we need to set the product image. So in here. Now you can see down here there's a list of folders. So your media library is where you add your images, but make sure for product images you put it in a folder that helps to organize it. So for this particular site we're using brand folders within a product images folder. So you can create a new, for example, if we wanted to add a new brand, we would click on product images and just click create folder, and that will create one within the product images folder. And there's going to be another brand called foil, so you can click that and create, and you'll see that folder come up there, so you can add any foil images to that. But in this case we're going to the scarf company. Okay, and these are already uploaded, but if not, which one were we doing? Connie Black. So if not, you would grab your image and just drag it in and drop, and it would upload to the media library here in this folder. So there it is, Connie Black. Now the first thing we need to do is just have a think about the title. So it's good that if your images have a good name when you upload them, because their file name will determine their location. So let's have a look here. So it has this kind of slug there at the end as well, hard to see. That's more important for SEO, so that's search engine optimization, making sure that what search engines are reading about your site is helpful information. So if the name's good, then that's good for your website. It also helps if you ever need to find that image in your media library. If you type scarf, anything with the word scarf in this file name will come up. If we type Connie, anything with Connie will come up, and TSC for the brand, anything that's TSC will come up. So you can see how that's quite helpful to have a good file name before you upload it. But then the title, what you want to think about is how you want it displayed. So back to our example of this existing product. So the user can sort of look over it like this to see it zooms in, but they can also just click on it. And then the title will display here as well when they look at it this way. So you want it to be something kind of helpful and not unhelpful. So you might want this to be, for example, not in all capitals. So you could rewrite that. You could also use something like this, which is just a website called convertcase.net, which I like to use. Just paste in and quickly change it so that it's a lot of time not wasted typing. So following the format of this, where we had the brand in capitals and then the product in capitalized case, we could do the same here. And then the alt text up here, make sure you enter in a description there. So that describes the image to search engines that are reading the page, as well as actually any blind users who might want to read what the image is because they can't see the image. So you could say black scarf. You might also want to, going back to search engines reading it, that means you would want to actually write it in such a way that's helpful to the user, but also helpful to search engines to find you for that product. So say if you want to rank in Google for the scarf company Connie Black Scarf, then make sure you put that information in here to describe it. So there we go. Now we've got a description. Scarf company, Connie black scarf with large grey spots, and then set that product image. So what you'll find is, we'll have a look at that in a moment. Let's just publish it, and then we'll be able to see what it looks like. Okay, so there it is. Now when we open it up, you can see the title, and the alt text will actually be, you can read the alt text in the code. You can't read it on the site just visually, but it's in the code for this site, for this page, sorry. And search engines like Google will be able to read that, so that's quite helpful to name it something that is descriptive and good for how you want to be found. Okay, so that's adding a new product. That's a simple product. Now, if you had specifications about shipping, of course you would put that in here if it had a shipping class, but for this particular site, we're dealing with a flat rate shipping method, so none of that matters, so we don't need to worry about putting in weight or dimensions, which you would if it was, say, Australia Post, but for flat rate and the same flat rate applying to all products, you can just skip over that.